Okay guys, so this is the Eico 950A, my next little project here. The main reason I got this is for leakage testing of caps, because I can test capacitance and all the rest, but the at least to be able to go to 500 volts where you need to is important. So this was a sort of got this on eBay, and so I went looking for documentation first thing. So okay, I managed to get this online, which is called an instruction manual, which doesn't really give too much detail, just talks a little bit about the description, features, circuit description and some operation, and there is a circuit diagram at the end, which is always nice. Looking on further around online, I did find some additional documents. So this is this looks to be instructions of how you build one. So I guess this was a kit project. So this seems to give a little bit more, at least some layout information and stuff. And yeah, so that's what I got so far. Let's take it up and have a look, open it up, have a look inside. Okay guys, well, after a detailed examination, this is not going to be just a restore. The original mains transformer, which is underneath and still wired in, has obviously had problems. This transformer is a completely new addition, so I'm assuming that at least one of the windings on the original transformer is no longer working, most likely the high voltage one, and so this transformer has been added, but the secondary out is fairly low, so I'm assuming that all of this stuff here, these are also not part of the original. Somebody had completely redesigned some sort of a new voltage, high voltage circuit to get to 500 volts or whatever. But since I have no diagram to reflect what the guy was trying to get done, I don't really have a choice. I either abandon this and just part it out, or I just strip it down, keep the hardware, and rebuild it as per the original. And so I'll reflect a little bit on what to do here, but quite likely what I might do is certainly redo the power supply completely like a 950B. And try and restore the original thing as best I can. I still have the transformer problem, so I'll get this thing off of here, then I'll take the original one out, and then we'll see what's working and what's not working and whether or not it's safe to continue, and then we'll go from there. So yeah, not the best of luck with this particular eBay acquisition. Still, eBay acquisitions are a gamble, I guess, at the best of times. Right, well, I've gutted this capacitance bridge. I've taken the transformer out. I gobbed a lot of hot glue all around these wires where they come out to make sure I don't damage anything more, although I very much doubt I'll be using this transformer. So, near as I can figure, this is the primary here, these two large wires. These three here look like a center tapped 12.6, which the 6.3 obviously is used for the heater. On the other side, I have resistance across this winding, which I presume is probably the 50 odd volts that's also used. And then there's two wires here snipped off right at the surface, so no possibility to put tails on them, but it measures open circuit. And that's probably the high voltage secondary, which I'm told is usually the one that goes. So I might just whack this onto the variac just to make sure I got it all clearly understood. But if I am correct, then what I really don't understand is the second transformer that was put in here. This is the primary, 0 to 110. It's got a 6.3 volt secondary here. Sorry, I beg your pardon, this is the primary here at a 0 and 110. 6.3 volt over here. And then what looks to be a 150 volt capped off here. So unless what the person did was make some sort of a voltage doubler or something, or more than that, because you'd have to quadruple that to get your 500 volts anyway. So this goes in the junk box. This probably goes in the junk, but curiosity, I'll see about hooking this guy up to the variac and just see does it work? Does it run hot or cold or what? This guy, I'm not going to use him at all because no reason. I don't see what purpose he'd serve in terms of trying to get this thing back to its original design. Right, it's all stripped down, well, pretty much. And I guess you can't blame folks for not being trained, but the quality of how this thing was put together was pretty bad. So without going into lots of detail, I'd say it was done with a soldering iron. It was way too powerful for this type of project, because things like where simple things like the power on off here is this joint here on the switch is a mixture of copper, solder, and plastic. So yeah, the quality of the soldering and the joint work is just pretty abysmal everywhere. So I guess I feel quite fortunate that in my younger days I was fortunate enough to be properly trained on how you do this stuff. Right, so I either have a box full of spare parts now, or I'm going to sit back and think what we're going to do next. I think what I'm going to do is go looking for transformers. I don't think I'm ever going to find a single transformer, given the unusual nature of the secondaries on this. And so it's going to be 2 transformers no matter what. And so if I can find 2 transformers that are not so big as to be silly, and I can reasonably get them in here, we'll have a think about rebuilding this thing as to its original spec, or maybe to a 950B. May take a while, so yeah, this project may go on hold for a while. We'll see.